Welcome back to Black Swan Outdoors, and today we are going to be talking about kill flashes, is often what they're called, but these are just basically a protective guard that's going to protect whatever kind of optic you have, be it a monocular, binoculars as these, or field glasses, or a scope, and they're going to protect it primarily from something like glint or glare. Now, the reason why we're talking about this today is because we just did a series, or continuing a series rather, on escape and evasion for our Patreon. And in that we talked about leave no trace and the relationship that evasion skills have with the out of doors. And one of the sections in that exclusive post is on glint and glare from optics. If you're trying to evade capture, for example, for whatever reason, and we give some kind of case studies or some ideas of why that might be in the article. So if you're interested, please give it a read. But one of the things we talk about is this fact that there's a lot of people that might have access to low-grade optics that don't have either a shade hood over the objective lens, or that doesn't have any kind of anti-glare coating. And in that case, you might want to consider some kind of protective measure, so that if you are glassing an area, if you're wanting to look to see what's ahead of you or behind you, see if there might be somebody following you, for example, that you're not tipping off your position where you're at, either that with the rifle scope or with a pair of field glasses like this. Now, there's some other practical reasons why you might want to be concerned for this, for kind of the everyday user, if you will. And that's somebody, if you're out in an area that's maybe has a lot of reflective properties, water, snow, desert areas where there's lots of sun. These objective lens, particularly on these binoculars, which are an older pair of Pentax. These are 50 millimeter objective lens, and because of this, they're so large, they gather so much light. If I was to be looking through these for long periods of time, say I'm observing for whatever reason, then that over time that light is going to be pretty tiring on my eyes. And in that case, we want to kind of scale that down a little bit. And we do that, particularly we can do that easy enough with tape. And so you can just make a bit of a slit here. This is very similar to how the indigenous people of the particularly closer to the North Pole and northern regions, in areas of tundra and glaciers, they would make kind of a slit goggle. And if you are stuck in an area like that where there's extreme light, you can do the same thing with cardboard or clothing or something to kind of protect your eyes from snow blindness or other types of things. On this lens here, this was something I was kind of experimenting with, and that is just basically hardware cloth over the lens, and then I have a Ranger band here. Now, what I wanted to see was how much glint or glare would be cut down by just putting 2 layers of this hardware cloth on there, and if that would be effective. You can use shade cloth, you can use netting, other types of fabric as well, but like I said, I was just kind of experimenting with this. One of the advantages as well to either kind of protecting your lenses with either method is that places where your glasses might fall, might get dirty, excessive dust, things like that, that these are going to help protect your lenses from those things as well. From a kind of more military perspective, there might be concerns of laser, either laser weapons or laser targeting being used and into the glass, and a lot of the higher end military grade lenses are going to have protective coating to protect one's eyes from something like that. This is not. However, if you have some sort of protective covering, that may help perhaps mitigate some of that that threat, but that's not something that most people are going to come across. So that's not something that we really need to be thinking about too much. So if you have an older pair of glasses, if you have older scope, and you want to kind of make a kind of a DIY kill flash, you could go with duct tape. Very, very simply, very easy. You could go with colored duct tape to match your surroundings, or you could color that. You could also then go with some kind of covering like this hardware cloth. Or perhaps better would be some sort of netting or something else. You could certainly spray paint that color black or brown or whatever, just to kind of keep the color scheme in line with your environment if you needed to. So yeah, there might be some other ways other people have done this. So if you have done this before and you have some suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Yeah, so this was basically just the DIY kill flashes for your optics.